Al Yasir, or the family of Yasir, without a doubt was one of the most important families in the beginning of the religion of Islam. Indeed, this family gave so much back to the religion and are known as the first martyrs in the history of the religion of Islam. Yasir and Sumayya were the parents of the famous companion of the Holy Prophet by the name of Ammar, as we all call him, Ammar bin Yasir. You find that in the earliest days of the religion of Islam, Ammar and his father Yasir and his mother Sumayya gave so much back towards the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Indeed, you find that they gave so much back in terms of their sacrifices for their religion. Hence, they have the honor of being known as the first shuhada in the history of the religion. Many Muslims pride themselves on being martyrs in the way of God. Yes, you find that the martyr occupies the highest position within the religion of Islam. That on the day of judgment they are able to intercede for others. In the day of judgment they come with their original stand and their original principles alongside the prophets and the truthful ones. The first shuhada in the history of the religion was not Hamza bin Abdul Muttalib, nor was it Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. Find that Hamza at his time was called Sayyid al-Shuhada. Imam al-Hussein was known as Sayyid al-Shuhada of his time and of all times. Yet you find that the first shuhada in the history of this religion who gave their life away for the religion of Islam in its early years were Yasir and Sumayya, the parents of Ammar. Sadly, hardly ever does anyone mention their sacrifice. Many times we talk about Ammar, but we don't mention Yasir and Sumayya. For a person to give their life away that early in the religion of Islam, when they could have easily pretended that they weren't believing because it was a matter of life and death, without a doubt highlights the faith of these two personalities. Yes, because in those early years, you found that when Abu Jahl and Abu Sufyan and Walid ibn al-Mughira and others began to realize that the religion was now spreading to the rich and to the poor, to friends of tribal leaders, to friends of foes. You found, for example, of the rich, people like Hudayfa bin Utbah joined the religion, Arqam bin Arqam joined the religion, Mus'ab bin Umar joined the religion. They were rich families they came from. And they joined the religion of Islam. But then you had those of the poor who were now made to seem equal to the rich, because Islam says that the only differentiator between all of you is taqwa. Ya ayyuhan nas, inna khalaqnakum min dhakarin wa untha wa ja'alnakum shu'uba wa qabaila lita'arafu inna akramakum 'inda Allahi atqakum. Yes. O mankind, we created you from male and female, from different races and different tribes, in order that you get to know one another. The best amongst you in the eyes of Allah is not the wealthy, it's not the educated, it's not the one who has the best surname. Rather, the best amongst you is the one with taqwa. That's the differentiator. When Abu Jahl and Abu Sufyan began to realize that now the servants are equal to the masters, the black is equal to the white, Muhammad's going around spreading this nonsense, they began with their oppression. The first to taste this oppression was Yasir and Sumayya, the parents of Ammar. Yes, these two were the first. And the saddest of all sadnesses is, you would think that the first shuhada in the religion of Islamic history, the first shuhada in Islam's history would be honored, would be revered. 3 years ago, their whole grave, the grave of Ammar, their son, was destroyed in Raqqa. Yes, many of us who've been on ziyarah would have gone from Sham to Halab and to Raqqa. When you go to Halab, you go to the area where Imam al-Hussein's head was kept in the monastery. When you go to Raqqa, you visit the companions of Ali ibn Abi Talib who died in the battle of Siffin. Yes. People like who? People like Uwais al-Qarani, Khuzaymah bin Thabit, Ammar bin Yasir. You would think the Muslims would honor the grave of the son of the first shuhada in Islam. They bombed the whole grave of Ammar. Yes. The whole grave, they bombed it. And this really goes to highlight to you, ISIS, the people they take out their oppression on, is not just non-Muslims. We, the followers of Ahlul Bayt, are the biggest victims of their terror, of their oppression, and of the whole ideology which had come from medieval Syrian scholarship and reached the Hijaz today. In March 2013, Ammar, son of Yasir and Sumayya's grave, was completely bombed. And the whole of the mosque was desecrated. And mind you, they did this with a lot of Ali ibn Abi Talib's companions. Hujr bin Adi al-Kindi, they bombed his grave, yes. Ammar bin Yasir, Khuzayma bin Thabit, Uwais al-Qarani. It really goes to highlight to you that there isn't much love for Ali or his companions, yes. Ali's love really just comes from a general concept of tit for tat. Okay, we love him as well, you know, we do love him as well. Reality is there is no love for Ali, otherwise you wouldn't destroy the graves of the companions of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Therefore, you found that Ammar's parents were major sacrifices in this early period of the religion of Islam. Rasulullah had just begun to spread the mission. But what brought them to the religion is an interesting question. Why did they become Muslims? Which incident led to their Islam? Why did Abu Jahl insist that these early Muslims would be tortured? Which of those early Muslims spoke out? Which of them done taqiyya? And if a person has an option between shahadat and taqiyya, does he get rewarded for either? Or is the shaheed higher than the one who does taqiyya? How was Ammar after Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi? Was he loyal to Ahlul Bayt or no? And what unbelievable performance did he display on the day of Saffin when he died at the age of 93? Let me examine this and dissect the topic in complete depth. What brought Yasir and Sumayya and others to Islam? What was it? Someone has to ask this question, because a few years into the prophethood of the Prophet, what was attracting people to the religion? You know, when the first verses of the Quran were being revealed, the Prophet used to gather with the companions at the house of Arqam bin Arqam, secret location. Not everybody was allowed to know the location. Why? Naturally, if Abu Jahl and Abu Sufyan and all of these find out, they're going to come into the house and they're going to attack the people in the house. Whenever a verse would come down from Jibreel, these early companions, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, would sit with them and explain it to them. So if a verse comes down, for example, like قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ, he'll explain the meaning of قُلْ. قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْكَافِرُونَ, he'll sit with them and explain the meaning. اقرأ باسم ربك يا أيها المدثر يا أيها المزمل نون. When these verses would come down, the companions would all gather together, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam would say to them that I've just received a revelation from Allah. These new companions were hearing that the Prophet Muhammad's message was now being spread. Ammar, from a young age, knew Rasulullah, because there's only a couple of years difference between them in age, if not the same age as each other. Yes, the historians differ. From a young age, he knew the Prophet, peace be upon him, his family. And Ammar had known the akhlaq of the Prophet before. He had known he had never lied about anything, wasn't a mysterious character in his behavior, wasn't two-faced, wasn't hypocritical, always respectful whenever they used to see each other in their early days. Ammar, when he heard people saying Muhammad spreading a message, others were saying, who cares? He's probably speaking nonsense. Others were saying, I can't be bothered. Yes, it's normal, the reaction. When you give people religious advice or you give people religious lectures, the human being falls into two categories. The ones who want to run after knowledge and the ones who just want to stay on the same. Yes, last Ramadan, this Ramadan, same, no difference whatsoever. Last Muharram, this Muharram, you won't see any change in the person. Yes. Likewise in Mecca it was the same. There were those, when they heard that there was a message, they're like, listen, I'm happy the way my fathers followed the religion. 23rd Ramadan, 10th of Muharram. Yes. Then there were those, no, the ones who aspired for ilm, knowledge. One of them was Ammar. The moment Ammar heard, he said, you know what, I want to go and see what Muhammad has to say. But how do I find that area where they're gathering? Asked one person, asked another. It was difficult because, you don't know if you ask the wrong person, it could be one of Hitler's soldiers there, as they say, yes? It could be a person who will take you straight to the police and tell that this person is looking for Muhammad, looking to be guided. You don't know who to go to. So Ammar found a house where he had heard that the Prophet might be gathering. And when he got there, Suhaib was there as well. He said to him, what are you doing here? He said, nothing. He said, what are you doing here? He said, I'm not really doing anything. He said, well, why are we both here then? He said, look, I've heard Muhammad's in there. I want to go and listen to him. He said, me as well. Let's go in. They'd turn around, they'd make sure no one's looking. They couldn't tell their parents. If Ammar had told Yasir or Sumayya that he was going to become a Muslim, this would be an insult to the gods in the house of Yasir and Sumayya, because they used to have idols in their house. Ammar went in, Suhaib went in, they heard Rasulullah talk, both of them joined the religion of Islam, and Ammar kept on going to the house of Arqam. He'd sit with Rasulullah, the ayah would come down, he would explain it to him, explain, until one day, Surah Al-Takwir was revealed. Yes, إِذَا الشَّمْسُ كُوِّرَتْ. Yes. When that surah was revealed, the ayahs were revealed one by one. Ammar finished from the house of Arqam, he went home. When he went home, his father Yasir and his mother Sumayya were there. Yasir had come to Mecca originally. Him, his brother Harith and his other brother Malik had lost their brother in Mecca. They came to look for him. They were all from Yemen originally. They had come to Mecca to look for their brother. They couldn't find their brother. When eventually they found him, Harith and Malik went back to Yemen. Yasir remained where? He remained in Mecca. Sumayya, Ammar's mom, was a black slave girl. Yes, she was a black slave girl. Hence Ammar bin Yasir, later Uthman in one incident calls him Yabna Sauda, or son of the black woman. Yes. Ammar's mom was a black woman, a black slave girl. Yasir had married her. She was with the tribe Bani Makhzum. But they were in a house, there were idols in the house. Ammar came home one day. When Ammar entered, you have to be very careful when you come back, because the parents, like any parents, will ask you, where were you tonight? Yes. Every parent, Muslim, non-Muslim, whatever, you come back home late, the parents will say, where were you tonight? When he entered the house, his shoulder brushed an idol. Yes. When the shoulder brushed the idol fell on the ground, it broke. Yasir turned around to him and said, Ammar, look what you've done. He said, what did I just do? He said, you've just killed God. Yes. Ammar looked, he said, what do you mean, father, I've just killed God? If it's God, then God should be able to protect himself. Yes. What do you mean I've just killed God? The father turned around to him and the mother turned around and said, Ammar, how dare you speak like that? Where have you been learning to speak such language? He said to her, I've learned from the Prophet Mohammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. When he said, I've learned from the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him and his family, at that moment, his father said to him, what else have you been learning from Muhammad? Because the word had gone around, but there were misconceptions and confusion, because some people say the Holy Prophet is a truthful man. But now, for the first time, there's doubts about his reputation. Yasir and Sumayya knew that Muhammad's a good man, but people are doubting him. So he said, what else has he been teaching you? He said, just now he explained to us a surah of the Quran, known as Surah Al-Takwir, and he said the following verses. He began to say the verse, one verse after another, after another, after another. Then he said the verse, وَإِذَا الْمَوْءُودَةُ سُئِلَتْ بِأَيِّ ذَنْبٍ قُتِلَتْ. And the female baby will ask on the day of judgment, for what reason was I buried alive? The moment he said that, his mom began to cry. He said to her, Mom, what's wrong? I'm so sorry, what's wrong? Father said, Ammar, don't worry. I said, Mom, I'm really sorry, I apologize. What's wrong? Tell me. If I've insulted you in any way, I'll take my words back. Because he loves his mom and dad. So his father said to him, he said, don't worry. Your mom, when she was younger, she had 2 elder sisters before her. Your grandfather buried both of your aunties alive. The first one he buried alive. Then the second one, when he was burying her alive, she touched his beard. So he said that if I have a third daughter, then I swear that I will not bury that third daughter alive. He said to him, Ammar, that third daughter is your mother, Sumayya. Yes. Sumayya at that moment turned around to Ammar. She said to him, Ammar, if Muhammad is preaching the rights of the female, then me and your father will join the religion of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Let's have a second louder salawat, inshallah. Third with your loudest voices, inshallah. It wasn't complicated why Sumayya joined Islam. It wasn't complicated. Islam was a religion which looked out for the social reform of society. the rights of the oppressed, like the poor, the widow, the needy, and the female. The moment Sumayya heard this, Islam wasn't rocket science. Today, the way we explain Islam to non-Muslims, we make it sound like rocket science. Why? Just say that Islam is a religion which is built on building a healthier society. Yes? A society where people's property, people's honor, people's intellect, people's life, and people's religion are protected. When Rasulullah came with the early mission, it wasn't a mission where he was extrapolating major laws. He was talking to the heart of the human being. Yes? Socially, spiritually, that's what influenced them. From that moment onwards, you found that Sumayya, Yasser, and now a group of others were slowly beginning to join the religion from different angles. Yes? Khabbab ibn al-Arad joined the religion. Suhaib joined the religion. There were others who joined the religion as well, who became prominent personalities. Like whom? Abdullah bin Mas'ud joined the religion. Abu Dhar al-Ghafari joined the religion. Abu Dhar al-Ghafari, when he came to join the religion, Abu Dhar, you know how he came? What they would do is they'd walk around the Kaaba because they've heard Muhammad in Mecca has come to preach a beautiful message. But they look one way, Abu Sufyan, another way, Abu Jahl, another way, Abu Lahab, another way, Walid ibn al-Mughira. Okay, what do we do? How do we find Muhammad? Abu Dhar al-Ghafari would walk around. You know his name is Jundub, yes? He would walk around, he's looking one way, looking the other. There's no one I can speak to. I'm a bit scared to open up. He'd stay there, nobody to speak to. He stays the night, goes to sleep somewhere, wakes up the next morning. Look how difficult it was to be a Muslim in those early days. He's looking around. You found that this Abu Dhar was from one of the most famous tribes, Bani Ghafar. That's why we call him Abu Dhar al-Ghafari. He was from a famous tribe. You know what their jobs were? They were all gangsters, highway thieves. Yes? His tribe were highway thieves. If your caravan passes by his tribe, they say to you, hey, how you doing? Where's my tip? Yes? It's like you cross a bridge in Kenya, for example. So, when you come here, you found that Abu Dhar al-Ghafari, when Abu Dhar al-Ghafari was coming, he's looking around. Everybody knows he's from Bani Ghafar. He's looking one way, looking the other, looking what's going on. Who does he see? A young Ali ibn Abi Talib. Ali ibn Abi Talib looks at him. He says to him, what are you looking for? He said, nothing. He said to him, no, tell me. He said, oh, I don't think you'll know. He said, no, I think I will. He said to him, you're looking for the Prophet Muhammad? He said to him, yes, I am. How did you know? He said, don't worry, there's a few other things I'll show you in the future that I know. He tells him, come with me, and they would go to the house of Rasulullah. Abu Dhar would sit down. Within seeing Rasulullah, a few minutes, Rasulullah would explain Islam to him. Ammar would be sitting, Khabbab would be sitting, Abdullah bin Mas'ud would be sitting. All of them straight away would say, La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, straight away, in those early days. But very secretly, found that Rasulullah told Abu Dhar, because Rasulullah knows Bani Ghafar are loud. Yes. Bani Ghafar do not take rubbish. If you speak nonsense, they'll speak out against you. And they're very loud because they know that all of them, they're a big tribe, no one messes about with them, even though Abu Dhar was different to them. Abu Dhar was a person of sincerity, of humility. Many of them weren't. Abu Dhar, Rasulullah said to him, Abu Dhar, listen, don't tell everybody that you've become Muslim, yes, if you don't mind. He said, okay, Rasulullah, I won't tell everybody. He said, you sure? He said, yeah, no problem. As soon as Abu Dhar went, he stood on top of the Kaaba. Oh people, I am Jundub. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. The whole of Mecca came, they started beating Abu Dhar. They're beating him and beating him and beating him. Rasulullah, there was a few commands, they took him out. He came back. He said, Rasulullah said to him, Abu Dhar, I said to you that we're trying to keep things quiet at the moment. He said, yes, Ya Rasulullah, I didn't tell everyone. He said to him, you stood on the Kaaba and announced that you're a Muslim. Abu Dhar said to him, Ya Rasulullah, this is my passion. I love Islam. I cannot let go. He said to him, try and keep it calm. He said, don't worry, I'll keep it calm. He left again, went onto the Kaaba. Oh people, I'm a Muslim. La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. Again they came. They started beating him and beating him until someone shouted, hey guys, by the way, you know you're beating the son of Bani Ghafar. Everybody ran away straight away, yes? Because that means that no caravan for business is going that year. If Bani Ghafar find out that you've touched Abu Dhar, it's game over for you. You will never ever have a caravan that goes past. Abu Dhar joined the religion of Islam. Rasulullah, when Abu Dhar joined, he said to him, Abu Dhar, go back to your tribe. He said, Ya Rasulullah, you're in Mecca. your companions are being oppressed. He said, no, go back to your tribe and go and teach them about the religion of Islam. Not all of us do the same job. There are some of us who are meant to do tabligh in one area. There's others who are meant to do tabligh in other areas. Yes? You do tabligh back in your tribe. So, Abu Dhar went back. Ammar bin Yasir now had become a Muslim. Hudayfa Muslim. Abdullah bin Mas'ud Muslim. Zayd had become a Muslim. Abu Bakr had become a Muslim. Or others had become Muslims. Uthman bin Affan had become a Muslim. Others, all of them had started joining the religion of Islam. You found now Abu Jahl and Abu Sufyan sat and had a meeting. Said, listen, this is a problem. The man seems to be gathering young companions. Some of them in their 20s. What do we do about this? So one of them said, listen, let's go and talk to his uncle Abu Talib. Let's have a word with him. So what do you want to suggest to him? He said, tell his uncle Abu Talib that what we'll do is that we'll let Muhammad rule Mecca for 1 year and we rule for 1 year. And we keep swapping. So came to Abu Talib. Abu Talib, we have a suggestion for Muhammad. We've heard that he's spreading this word where our slaves are equal to us now and our women are equal to us. Let him stop this nonsense. We give him power in Mecca for 1 year and we take power for 1 year. We keep swapping. Abu Talib said to Rasulullah, Ya Rasulullah, this is what they've suggested. Rasulullah said, no, it doesn't interest me at all. Okay, tell Muhammad how much money does he want? Just say the figure, we'll give it to you so you end this nonsense. He said, I've not come for money. I've come on behalf of God talking to you. Okay, listen, we'll give you one of our beautiful sons. You give us one of your sons, we'll swap. Is the way they were thinking. Why? Because Bani Umayyah, who were in the Quraysh at the time, felt that their loan sharks business was now deteriorating. They can't charge interest to the whole community now. For there's a community where interest is now banned amongst each other. So you found that they said that to Abu Talib. Rasulullah turned around with the famous words. If they gave me the sun in my right hand and the moon in my left hand, I would not stop preaching La ilaha illallah. Yes? Whatever you want to give me, you can give me. I do not care. Give me the sun in my right, the moon in my left. I'll continue to preach La ilaha illallah. The moment this was said, Abu Jahl and Abu Lahab said, very well, if Muhammad wants to reply like that back to us, then we'll pick up his new converts and we'll show them the meaning of torture. Yes. Who were the main torturers of Arabia at that time? Let's list them. Go to the books of history, don't ask me. The main torturers of Arabia at that time were whom? Abu Jahl, number one. Number two, Umar ibn al-Khattab. Yes. Umar ibn al-Khattab had not joined Islam yet. Yes. When these tortures were being happening, he hadn't joined the religion. Uthman had joined. Abu Bakr had joined. Abdullah bin Mas'ud had joined. Zayd had joined. Abu Dhar had joined. Bilal had joined. Yes. But Umar ibn al-Khattab had not yet joined the religion. Yes. Umar and Abu Jahl decided if they found a person who had joined the religion, then they were entitled to torture those people, drag them out of their houses and put them in the scorching heat of Arabia. Yes. You know the first one they done it to? Bilal. Bilal was the servant of Umayyah. In Arabia's parliament, if you wanted to sit in the parliament, if you have a member of your tribe who's become a Muslim, you can't sit in the parliament. When Umayyah was sitting that morning, someone came to him and said, Umayyah, why are you sitting here? He said, what do you mean why I'm sitting here? I'm Umayyah. Nobody messes with me. Of course I'll sit here. He said, you know you're Bilal? He said, yes, Bilal is my servant. What's wrong with him? He said, he's joined Muhammad's religion. He said, that's impossible. He said to him, why? He said, Bilal is the one who looks after the idols of my tribe. No way, I raised Bilal. He said to him, it doesn't matter you raised Bilal. Go and have a look. He went to Bilal. He said, Bilal, I want to speak to you. He said, yes. He said, you joined Muhammad's religion? Bilal said to him, yes. He said, Bilal, rethink your words. Have you joined Muhammad's religion? He said to him, yes, I have. He said to him, Bilal, I raised you when you were a child. And I've looked after you. You're my slave. You're not a slave to any other existent. He said, I'm a slave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Simple. He said to him, you're a slave? Yeah? He said, well, you'll see the torture that you'll face now. Yes. You know what they did to him? They rolled his body naked on the sand of Arabia. The heat of that sand, Bilal's body on the ground, and they'd say to him, say that you believe in our gods. And he would say, Ahad, Ahad, Ahad. There is only one God. Qul huwa Allahu Ahad. Ahad, Ahad, Ahad. They'd say, Bilal, change. Say, Ahad, Ahad. You think as Muslims it's hard for us? Listen to the Sahaba of Rasulullah, what they went through in those years. Yes. Ahad. They picked up a big black rock and placed it on Bilal's chest. Yes. A huge black rock. That rock was there and it was on Bilal's chest. The narrations mention that he would keep calling, there is only one God. There's only one God. There's only one God. Until the Prophet is meant to have asked Abu Bakr to have ransomed Bilal with a certain payment and release him. Not only Bilal did they torture, they then went to the house of Yasir and Sumayya. Yasir and Sumayya are older than Bilal. They're older than Abu Dhar. They're older than the rest of the companions. They dragged them out of the house. Why? Because Yasir was what? Yasir married a daughter of Bani Makhzum. Therefore, Abu Jahl, Bani Makhzum. Umar ibn al-Khattab, part of him is Makhzumi. They dragged the ladies from these respective tribes and they put their hands like on a crucifix position on the ground. Yes. They put them there on the ground. Lubna was one. Another one by the name of Zunaira, Sumayya, mother of Ammar, and Yasir, his father. They laid them down on the ground. You know how they would lay them down? They'd put their feet tied to a rope, hands tied to a rope, and they keep stretching the rope. Umar ibn al-Khattab on one side, Abu Jahl on the other. These are in the books of history. You can go and read. Yes, people before they become Muslim are different in most cases. So Abu Jahl and Umar ibn al-Khattab were there, and they would be coming towards these people. Yes, Yasir and Sumayya. Ammar was on one side, he was being tortured. Yes, Khabbab ibn al-Arath and Suhaib on another were being tortured. Others were being tortured. But it's difficult when you see your mother and father being tortured, isn't it? No. It's difficult because you don't mind you being tortured, but seeing mom and dad and seeing your mother Sumayya screaming. Abu Jahl would keep telling her, who's your Lord? The Lord of Muhammad or the idols of Quraysh? And she would say, the Lord of Muhammad. And he'd keep pulling the rope wider. And Ammar is screaming, leave my mother alone. Leave my mother. And she would say to him, my son, do not worry. You continue. And Abu Jahl would come. And Umar would come to that Lubna, Zunaira, Umar ibn al-Khattab, with his spear, would cut their stomach open. Yes. Those women were killed. Yes. And then after that, Sumayya and Yasir, they were there. Again, Umar ibn Khattab, again Abu Jahl. Abu Jahl would come. Abu Jahl would sit with them. Who's your Lord? Who's your Lord? And she kept on saying, there's only one God. Wallah. This lady was the meaning of sacrifice in early Islam. You want to see sacrifice? It was Sumayya, mother of Ammar. She could easily turn around and say, no. Ammar was calling out, leave my mom, leave my mom. And she would say, do not worry. Yasir would say, son, don't worry. This is all in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If I am now being tortured in the path of Allah, then there's nothing to worry about whatsoever. They kept on torturing until Abu Jahl said, pull your horses away, rip the body. The whole of her body was ripped up. Yes. And Ammar broke down. Then Abu Jahl said, give me a spear. Yasir was there. Abu Jahl ripped up the stomach of Yasir. See, this is what Arabia was. One rips up the stomach, the other eats liver. This is what we have. Yes. So then Ammar was there. Ammar, seeing the torture, they began to torture Ammar because they knew Ammar was influential for the Prophet. Ammar would be the one going around bringing new Muslims in, guiding them to Rasulullah, welcoming them. And Rasulullah, when he'd walk past the family of Yasir, you know what he would shout out? Sabran ya ala Yasir, inna maw'idakum al-jannah. Have patience, O family of Yasir. Heaven awaits all of you. Yes? He would shout that out. Because Rasulullah, they knew by torturing his companions, they were trying to get to Muhammad himself. And he would see Sumayya and he'd see Yasir. He'd see them being oppressed and he'd call out, Sabran ya ala Yasir. If ever in life you go through moments of sabr, then remember the sabr of Sumayya and Yasir, the parents of Ammar. Yes? Their sabr was real sabr, not our sabr today. My sabr, that for example, my sabr, oh, my marriage is not going out too well. Okay, have sabr. Your business work out too well. Have sabr. Real sabr is maintaining your iman while your stomach is being ripped apart. Rasulullah called out, Sabran Ya ala Yasir, inna maw'idakum al-jannah. Have patience, O family of Yasir. Heaven awaits you for what's happening. And then they came to Ammar. Ammar, when they came to him, they kept torturing him and torturing him. And when he was seeing his parents being tortured, he thought, you know what? Maybe if I say I don't believe in God, then they'll let me go. Yes. And no doubt, at that moment, when they were asking him, do you believe in God? Yes. Do you believe in God? Yes. Eventually, when he said no, he was released. Why? Because they said, well done. You admit that you don't believe in the Lord of Muhammad. Now you could go. Ammar, straight away, there was a group of companions who were present at the time who told Rasulullah, Ya Rasulullah, Ammar bin Yasir's left God. So what do you mean? Said he was being tortured and he said there's no God. Rasulullah said, but that's not like Ammar bin Yasir. There must be a reason. Ammar came running into the house of Rasulullah. He said to him, Ya Rasulullah, I said something, but my heart did not believe in it. I only said it because of oppression. This is what the Shia call taqiyya. That in a moment of life and death, you conceal your iman. We mentioned the story of the mu'min from Al-Fir'aun in Surah 40 verse 28, who concealed his iman in the period of Fir'aun. And likewise here in this ayah, when the Quran said, إِلَّا مَنْ أُكْرِهَ وَقَلْبُهُ مُطْمَئِنٌ بِالْإِيمَانِ. Yes. Except the one who is compelled. Ukriha is compulsion. La ikraha fi din. Ukriha is compulsion. Illa man ukriha wa qalbuhu mutma'innun bil iman. The one who is compelled to say kufr while his heart has complete iman. Was revealed, Surah 16, verse 106, was revealed in honor of whom? In honor of Ammar bin Yasir. That Rasulullah said, Ammar, calm down. Do you know what? He said, Ya Rasulullah, my mother was killed in front of me. My father was killed in front of me. And Rasulullah turned around to me and said to him, Ammar, do not worry. Allah just revealed an ayah that there are those who disbelieve in Allah after they have iman. Except those who are compelled to disbelieve while their heart has belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes? Ammar bin Yasir was one of the first examples of taqiyya in the religion of Islam. That he, on the external, showed he didn't believe in God because of a life and death situation. Yes, sometimes in our community or in our books of fiqh, we have rulings that if you know that you're going to be in a situation of life or death, then you're able to conceal your faith. Yes, even if you want to see the books of Sayyid Ali Khamenei, for example, may Allah lengthen his life. Or Ayatollah Sistani, for example, may Allah lengthen his life. You'll see within their works something very clear. That you can go to the extent, if you're on Hajj, for example, and you cannot find a place to put your turba down, or your more, for example. You can't find a place. They allow you in this situation, because they know the difficulty. If you put it down, someone's going to come and break it, or someone's going to kick it away. They allow you to put your forehead on that carpet in a position of taqiyya. Yes. Because you know that if you show that you're a Shia in certain parts of Medina or Mecca, you may face hatred, you may face a crime even from someone because of oppression. So they allow you to prostrate on the carpet, even though in most cases in fiqh, as we know, a person cannot prostrate on that which can be worn or that which can be eaten. Yes, in the school of Ahl al-Bayt. Also, they allow you in a position of taqiyya if you're on Hajj, for example. If not on Hajj, in a country where you know that praying in that mosque could be a cause of life or death for you, to fold your hands and not put your hands by your side. Yes. That's in a matter of what? A matter of taqiyya, because it's a moment of oppression, a moment where danger can happen. Yes. There are certain mosques in the world, Dhuhr, there's about 20 minutes of Asr left. You need to pray before you leave. You know if you enter that mosque, they see you praying with your hands down. No one thinks you're a Maliki, even though Malik allows you to pray with your hands by your side. Straight away they come to you and say, Shia, Rafidi, whatever. A person in a state of taqiyya. Someone says, but this is lying. Habibi, Ammar bin Yasir was lying. Yes. Ammar bin Yasir was lying. Ammar bin Yasir was saying, this is a matter of life or death when I say that I don't believe in God. It's a matter of life or death. So my heart believed in Allah, but it's a matter of life or death. Likewise, if you look at our maraja, they say in a state of taqiyya, where you've gone to a mosque, or in a country where you know it's dangerous to open up about your beliefs as a lover of Ahlul Bayt. There are certain countries in the world where if you admit you're Shia, you could be in prison. Malaysia. Yes, Malaysia, it's a criminal offense for a person to be Shia. in Malaysia, for example. Jordan is another country, there's no Imam Barkas or Husayniyas in Jordan. Yes. In those places, there's a good chance that if someone sees you pray as a Shi'i, there's a good chance that they'll actually come and attack you. Yes. We know people who have been attacked in these areas. Our Maraja say from the door of Taqiyya, from the story of Ammar bin Yasir, that Ammar bin Yasir, when he was being tortured, when he said, I don't believe in Allah, it wasn't because he didn't believe in Allah. It's because in a matter of life or death, you have the option, either shahadat or taqiyya. Someone says, which is greater, shahada or taqiyya? It's an interesting question. Both are rewarded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Shahada, Quran says, do not count those who have died in the way of Allah as being dead. Rather, they are alive, receiving sustenance from Allah. Taqiyya, Allah again in Surah 3 verse 28, says that you are allowed to perform taqiyya, yes, in certain areas. Yes, you can't take the disbeliever as a guardian except in a case of what? إِلَّا أَن تَتَّقُوا مِنْهُمْ تُقَاتٍ in Surah 3, verse 28 of the Holy Quran. Therefore, Ammar choosing taqiyya, Yasir and Sumayya chose shahadat. Which is greater in the eyes of Allah? Both are rewarded for what they've done. Yes, Yasir and Sumayya, Jannah awaits them because they were the first shuhada in Islam. We remember shuhada Karbala. We remember shuhada, for example, from the line of Ahlul Bayt. But the first shuhada were the parents of Ammar. Yes, Yasir and Sumayya. Those two set a principle for shahada forever. And that's why Rasulullah would always remember them whenever Ammar was around. Likewise, Ammar continued the legacy of his parents, Yasir and Sumayya. Yes, he never let their legacy go. Because sometimes someone's parents are religious, but they ruin the legacy. Yes, you find them leaving the path of the Quran, the path of Ahlul Bayt. Ammar ensured that Yasir and Sumayya's sacrifices were never to be forgotten. How? Ammar was the one who, when Rasulullah's mosque was being built in Medina, peace be upon his family, all the companions would pick up one brick, Ammar would pick up two. Yes. When he would see some of the companions wiping dust from their faces, while Ammar is sweating, he would say, there are those who avoid dust and there are others who are picking up two bricks. And you would see Uthman bin Affan turn around to him and say to him, are you trying to chat about me, son of the black woman? And Ammar went to Rasulullah. Rasulullah said, Ammar invites people to heaven while others invite people to hell. Then Rasulullah said, Ammar, taqtiluka al-fi'atul baghiya. Ammar, you will be killed by infidels. This one line is a fundamental line in Islamic history. Yes, that Ammar will be killed by usurpers, by infidels. Ammar bin Yasir, after Rasulullah died, was loyal to Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib. Ammar bin Yasir was loyal at the battle of Jamal with Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib. You see, on that battle, again when Rasulullah says Ammar will be killed by infidels, this is an important line. Why? Because on the battle of Jamal, who was fighting who? Yes, Aisha, Talha and Zubair were on one side of the army. Ammar bin Yasir and Ali ibn Abi Talib were on the other side of the army. Someone stood in the middle and said, I'm confused. He asked Imam Ali, said, I'm confused. How is it that Talha and Zubair and Aisha are on one side and you and Ammar are on the other when all of you are companions of Rasulullah? How? How did we reach such a level? Yes. Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib gave him the most wonderful answer. Listen to this answer of wisdom. Imam said, don't look at the personalities and then look at the truth. First look at the truth and then judge the personalities. Yes. Don't look at the personalities and then look at the truth. First look at the truth and judge the personalities. Did not Rasulullah say, Ali is with the truth and the truth is with Ali? Yes. Did not Rasulullah say, I leave behind for you the Quran and my Ahlul Bayt? Hold on to them, you won't go astray. You're asking me whose side should I be on, Aisha, Talha, Zubair, or Ali and Ammar? And that's why Rasulullah said to Ammar bin Yasir, yes, if everybody goes one way and Ali ibn Abi Talib goes the other, always go with Ali ibn Abi Talib. Clear? No doubt whatsoever. And that's why in the Shi'i concept of companions, many times people ask us, why do you only respect a few companions? Why don't you respect all of the Sahaba? Yes, all of them were great. We reply, Firstly, the Quran has its scales which we follow. The Quran would say one group of Sahaba are munafiqun. Hence a whole surah was called the hypocrites. Secondly, the Quran says that what? Secondly, the Quran says that on the days of Uhud or the days of Hunayn, the Sahaba ran away. In one ayah it says, انقلبتم على أعقابكم. On another ayah it says, ثم وليتم مدبرين. Yes, they ran away. Number two. Number three, yes, the Quran praises Sahaba. If you look at Surah 9 verse 100, it says, وَالسَّابِقُونَ الْأَوَّلُونَ مِنَ الْمُهَاجِرِينَ وَالْأَنصَارِ وَالَّذِينَ اتَّبَعُوهُمْ بِإِحْسَانٍ رَضِيَ اللَّهُ عَنْهُمْ وَرَضُوا عَنْهُ. Surah 9 verse 100. Yes, the foremost of the believers from the migrants and the helpers, Allah is pleased with them and they are pleased with Allah. So someone says, look, the Quran praises all the Sahaba. The next ayah, verse 101 says what? وَمِمَّنْ حَوْلَكُمْ مِنَ الْأَعْرَابِ مُنَافِقُونَ وَمِنْ أَهْلِ الْمَدِينَةِ مَرَدُوا عَلَى النِّفَاقِ لَا تَعْلَمُهُمْ نَحْنُ نَعْلَمُهُم. Yes. Quran, the next ayah. And from around you, of the Bedouin Arabs, there are hypocrites. And from the people of Medina. You, Muhammad, don't know them. We know them. We'll punish them double the punishment. So one ayah says that the Sahaba who helped Rasulullah, Allah is pleased with them. The next ayah says, but there are hypocrites as well amongst them. How do we define a Sahabi of Rasulullah? Yes? Anyone who walks and talks with Rasulullah? No. The one definition I'll give to all of you. How loyal was he to Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib after Rasulullah is whether we respect him or we don't. Simple. No need for a broader definition. Was he loyal to Ali after Rasulullah or not? Or did he fight Ali ibn Abi Talib? Because I'm sure every Muslim would agree, anyone who fights Imam Ali fights Rasulullah. Do we agree? I don't think there's a Muslim who doubts that line. When I respect a Sahabi of Rasulullah, I respect him on the basis how loyal was he to Rasulullah's family after Rasulullah died. Why? When Rasulullah is alive, all of us are good with Rasulullah. The test is, when Rasulullah dies, which ones of us show love for his family and which ones of us go to war with his family. Yes. Therefore at Jamal, Ammar was on the side of Imam Ali. But then at Siffin, 93 years old, yes, Ammar bin Yasir on the day of Siffin. 93 with Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib on the day of Siffin. Muawiyah had raised his army against Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib. Muawiyah didn't want to pledge his allegiance to Imam Ali. And you found Ammar made it clear that I'm willing to run into the river and into the date palms in honor of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Yes. Ali is with the truth, and with the truth is with Ali. A 93-year-old man whose parents were the first to lay their life for the religion of Islam. That man on that day of Siffin, his loyalty was unique. What happened was, Muawiyah ordered his soldiers to kill Ammar on that day. Yes. Muawiyah ordered his soldiers to kill Ammar. Subhanallah, today the Muslims, you ask them about Siffin, it says to you, Sayyidina Muawiyah killed Sayyidina Ammar radiyallahu anhuma. The killer and the killed radiyallahu anhuma. Okay. Question. Rasulullah in Bukhari says, yes, the hadith is clear. Ammar taqtiluka al-fi'at al-baghiyah. Ammar, you will be killed by infidels. Who killed Ammar bin Yasir? Do you know there are many Muslims who don't know who killed Ammar bin Yasir? There are many. If you ask them now, go to 90% of the mosques in Mombasa today. Say, do you respect Ammar bin Yasir? Say, Subhanallah, Sahabi of Rasulullah. Say, who killed him? Say, I'm not sure. The week after, he'll go to a khutbah on a Friday and the Mawlana will say, Sayyidina Muawiyah, Amir Muawiyah radiyallahu anhu. The week before you said Sayyidina Ammar radiyallahu anhu. The week after Sayyidina Muawiyah radiyallahu anhu. Is there anyone else who we can fit into this box? Is there anyone else? Some of us may smile. It's not something to smile about. This hurts. This hurts. How many people are deceived? Rasulullah made the path clear. Ammar will be killed by infidels. Ammar will be killed by usurpers. Otherwise, I would be confused on that day. When they killed Ammar, Abdullah bin Amr ibn al-As asked Amr ibn al-As. He said to him, if you killed Ammar bin Yasir, then you're a group of usurpers, because Rasulullah said, Ammar will be killed by infidels, by usurpers. The answer was a wonderful answer from Amr ibn al-As. Yes. What an answer he gives. Amr ibn al-As says, what? He said, no, it wasn't us that killed Ammar. It was Ali ibn Abi Talib. How? Said Ali ibn Abi Talib brought him with him to war. So he killed him. You know what Imam replied? He said, then Rasulullah must have killed Hamza because he took him with him to war. Yes. You're saying that I killed Ammar because I told Ammar to come with me to war. That means Rasulullah killed Hamza, his uncle, because he told his uncle, come with me to war. Yes. You found that that was the clearest proof. Do you know some Muslims on that day what they said? When they realized Ammar was on the side of Imam Ali, some Muslims on that day said, now we know who's right between Muawiyah and Ali. Now we've seen Ammar, that must mean Ali is right. That's the sadness of our history. Ammar has to die for people to think Ali ibn Abi Talib is right. Yani Ali ibn Abi Talib, all his sacrifices for Islam, someone fights him, it's okay. When Ammar dies, oh, maybe Ali is right. Yes, now we remember. Yes, that's the tragedy of our history. But Ammar bin Yasir on that day, 93 years old, he kept on asking Rasulullah before, will I attain Shahada? Will I attain Shahada? Rasulullah said, not just Shahada, your last drink will be a drink of yogurt. When he was on the ground and he was dying, he said, get me some water, get me some water. Someone came and said, we have no water, here's some yogurt for you. Yes. He remembered the words of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi. You found on that night, Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam buried Ammar bin Yasir. And he buried Uwais al-Qarani. And he buried Khuzayma bin Thabit. And that's why in Nahj al-Balagha, Imam towards the end of his life would say, where are those great companions of mine? Ibn Tayyihan, Dhul Shahadatain, Ammar bin Yasir. Yes, those companions of Ali ibn Abi Talib, they used to yearn to die for him because they believed that dying for him was dying for Rasulullah sallallahu. And that dying for Rasulullah was dying for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the link. A true Sahabi is not one who was just good with Rasulullah. I want to see how good he was with the family of Rasulullah. Did he anger them? Did he oppress them? Did he fight them? Then I'm sorry. If he oppressed them and fight them, that's not someone I gain my knowledge from. Rather, Salman, Abu Dhar, Miqdad, Ammar, Jabir, Khuzayma bin Thabit, Uwais al-Qarani, Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, Hudayfa al-Yaman, Abdullah bin Mas'ud. These were the ones who were loyal to Al-Muhammad alayhim salam. They remained with them through thick and through thin. And why would they remain with Ali ibn Abi Talib? Because they knew that their Mawla was a man. The needy, he would help them. The widows, he would help them. The orphans, he would help them. The poor, he would help them. He'd sit with them like he was one of them. They could see him in the middle of the night walking in the streets, giving out help towards those who were in need of it. And that's why you find that on a night like this, yes, on a night like this, you found that Imam al-Hasan and Imam al-Hussein alayhim salam would realize just how much their father had helped people even without them knowing his help, yes. Because why do you think these companions would remain loyal? Because they knew Ali ibn Abi Talib would help every household, whether you knew in the darkness of the night or in the afternoons. He didn't want the people to know. He would go and help and come back. The narrations mention on a night like this that Imam al-Hasan, Imam Hussein, of course, had taken his janazah all the way to Najaf from Kufa. It's at least 20 minutes by bus. So how could they carry his janazah by themselves? They didn't. There were angels at the front carrying his janazah. And Imam had said that to Imam al-Hasan, you take my body, you and Hussein, and at the front there will be the soldiers of Allah taking the rest of the janazah. You're going to get to a place you will see that Nabi Nuh has prepared my qabr. Yes. Because who are the companions buried next to Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen? Those of you who've been to Najaf, take your heart to Najaf. Yes. Who are the companions buried next to him? One side Nabi Adam and the other side Nabi Nuh alayhi salam. And it was Nabi Nuh who had prepared the qabr for Imam Ali. That when Imam al-Hasan reached there, he saw an inscription. This is for Ali ibn Abi Talib from the servant of Allah, Nuh alayhi salam. Yes. How difficult must it be to lower your father's body into the ground? Yes. But at least he has his sons around him to lower his body. Whereas Abi Abdullah's sons' heads are on spears in Kufa and Sham. You found that when they came, they lowered his body, Both of them were in tears, one looking at the other, yes, lowering their father's body under the ground. Then what does the narration mention? The narration then mentions that they both got up, having buried his body. Both of them were inconsolable when they were coming back, because they knew Zainab was alone. This would be the first Eid without her father, Amir al-Mu'mineen. Normally at the end of Ramadan, he would be the one who tell her, Eid Mubarak Zainab. But this year would be the first Eid for her without her father. On their way back, they were nearing their house, and they saw a poor man who was sitting on the side of the street. Yes, when they saw the man, they saw the tears flowing from the eyes of the man. They said to him, "Oh man, why is it that you cry? What's wrong with you? Is there any way that we're able to help you?" He said to them, "Do not worry." They said to him, "No man, please tell us, why do you cry?" He said to them, "Every night in Ramadan there used to be a man who would feed me in the middle of the night." Yes, all of you take your hearts to Najaf. There used to be a man who would come and feed me in the middle of the night. Nobody else would be there for me but him. He'd sit with me and he'd feed me himself. But for 3 nights I haven't seen the man and my heart is broken." Yes, the moment Imam al-Hasan heard, for 3 nights his tears began to flow from his eyes. He said to him, "Oh man, that was my father Amir al-Mu'mineen who used to feed you in the middle of the night." He said to them, "What happened to him? I beg you tell me." They said to him, "He was struck by Ibn Muljam al-Muradi." The man was inconsolable, but more inconsolable was Zainab at home, yes, because it was the first night her father was not with her. If she was unconsolable on that night, how about the night of the 11th of Muharram, when Hussein and Abbas were not with her anymore? Yes, that night she tried to sleep, but every time she'd sleep, she'd hear Sukaina saying, "Where's my daddy? I want to see him." That night she tried to sleep, but she'd hear Rabab saying, "Where's my Asghar? I want to look for him." That night she tried to sleep, but she'd hear Kulthum saying, "Where's Abbas?" Yes. Eventually, there was a slight sleep that happened to her. She dreamt. What did she see? She see a man riding a black horse, walking, coming towards her. She looked towards him. She said, "Oh man, if you've come to attack us, Abbas and Hussein are not here to defend us. If you've come to loot us, then we've already been looted." The man replied to her, "Zainab, don't you recognize your father Amir al-Mu'mineen? Yes. Don't you recognize me coming towards you?" What did Zainab reply? Her reply breaks the heart. "Father, where were you when Abul al-Fadl fell down from his horse without any of his arms? Where were you when the arrow took the neck of Asghar? Where were you when Shimr sat on the chest of Abi Abdullah?" Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون واللعنة الدائمة على القوم الظالمين. Ya Allah, raise us with Muhammad and Al Muhammad. Ya Allah, our brothers in Yemen and Iraq, our brothers in Syria, our brothers around the world who face oppression, remove the dhulm that they face. Ya Allah, provide us with the shafa'ah of Yasir and Sumayya, the parents of Ammar. Ya Allah, allow us to be alongside Yasir and Sumayya in Jannah, Ya Allah. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with a surah al-Fatiha, but before it, the loudest of your salawat.